What's up guys, my name is TJ Sparks with Celebration Worship. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial of the Nord and how to set up a basic pad setting for worship and the sound that we get at Celebration Worship. So we're gonna dive right into it. So when you power up the Nord, the power on-off switch is right here. You're gonna just reach around the back and turn it on. This one's already on. So when it comes up, it's always gonna have a standard setting, and the standard setting's typically gonna be one of these pads over here. So right now it's set to 188. Some of our keyboards might come up with different settings. It might come up with something similar to this. I'm just gonna pick a random one. I'm gonna show you what one might sound like when you first just come up with it. I don't know if you can hear that. Doesn't sound very good. Not gonna give us a very churchy tone. So you just powered up the Nord and you need to figure out a way to get the decent sound. So what you're gonna basically do is you're gonna dial all your pad stuff back to about 50%, and you're going to look right here on this middle section. You're gonna twist this knob until you find a setting that says something to do with strings. So I happen to know right here, no, that's not on guitar, not what I want. I happen to know that down here somewhere there's something that has strings in it. So I'm gonna keep going until I find it. Getting closer, all winds, orchestra, duo strings. That one should work pretty nicely. Let me see how that sounds just right off the bat. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. However, what I want to do to make it a little bit better, this is what you guys are going to be able to do. So if you look over here in your settings, you have all these kind of things that are just super complicated and add all these settings to the pad. You don't need to worry about any of them. The main thing you need to make sure is that all this stuff is turned off with whatever pad you set. So you have like an arpeggiator up here. It might be on. When you go to a certain setting, make sure it's off. All of these need to be turned off. So you just cycle through them until they turn off. So if it's selected to 2 there, you just want to keep hitting it until there's nothing there. Same thing over here. You hit it until everything's blank. So what you want to do next is make sure that this is on sample. So some of the pads you get to, they might have a saw or a different type of synth pad. You want to make sure that it's on sample so that you can adjust it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come right here where it says LP12, and you're going to hit it until it goes to LP24 and LP12. Then you're going to test it out, see what it sounds like. Dial the frequency back for it. Level up. Next thing you want to do while you're holding your pad is you want to make sure that all your frequency modes are set to 0. You want to bring this thing all the way down to 0 here. So on this one, 0 is all the way down. On this frequency, 0 is about right here. Sweet. The next thing you want to do is adjust your resonance. So to give you an example, if your resonance is way up here, it's going to almost sound like feedback. You can't really hear that, but it just kind of goes away. There it went. So you want to make sure that your resonance is down right about here, right around the 2 or 3 range. Okay, the next thing that you want to do is adjust your attack, your decay, and your release. So with your attack, what that basically does, if your attack is at 0, as soon as you hit the note, the pad's going to come straight in. We don't want that because that makes an abrupt change when we change songs, so you want to put that right around here, 3 or 4, so that it kind of fades in a little bit. What you don't want is it being at 10, because then it takes forever for that pad to come in. Right now I'm playing and nothing's happening because the attack's set to 10, but it's going to gradually fade in. That's not what you want. You want it to come in, but you don't want it to come in super fast and super sharp. So you're going to set it around 3. Okay, the next thing you want to do is set your decay around mid-range. Should be good. Actually, no, your decay needs to be higher. I'm sorry, I got them confused. So your decay you want up at 10, so that as long as you're holding the note, the pad stays. That's 45 seconds. It's not going to go for 45 seconds. This pad's going to hold. So you can hold the sustain pedal down during a transition and just hold it like that. Dial this phase back a little bit here. The next thing you want to do is adjust your release to about 5. Now, what I'm hearing here is this pad is really deep and it almost sounds like feedback. If that does happen, you'll want to hit this until it goes to LP12. Every now and then that happens. Usually LP24 with LP12 is the better setting, but sometimes it's not. So you'll want to just set this particular pad to LP12. And you'll want to play around with it until you get that nice sound that you're looking for. Dial the frequency. By the way, this is frequency. I know I keep saying that. This is your frequency setting where you can get and adjust. So if I turn the frequency way up, that pad gets really harsh, really bright. For ultra moments especially, you want that dialed down super low on the frequency. Then after you dial your pad in, you want to come back over here to your piano, and you want to fade your piano back in to right around here, and that's going to give you that good nice pad that'll fill the room and a nice piano layout underneath it. I am going to go over how to do transitions really quick for you guys, just so that you know. So when you're doing transitions, what you're going to want to do with your pad is you want to keep it right around here, and you're going to want to take your volume down to 0, and I'm going to go from the key of D to the key of A. So the band leader's going to tell you 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to fade your piano back in after you've done that, and then you... Okay, and speaking of piano, I'm going to go over that setting for you real quick. This is a lot easier. Right here you have a bunch of settings for piano. You have grand, upright, E piano, clavinet, and harpsichord. We're almost always going to use the grand or the upright, and any one of these works. I prefer 1 myself, but 4 seems to be the one that most people at Celebration use, so feel free to use that one. That's our most basic sound. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but that pad's really filling up the room really nice, giving it that really good tone. The last thing I want to go over with you guys is compression and the reverb that you use. So when you're playing, what you want to do is set your reverb to either Hall 1 or Hall 2, and you want to keep it around 5. The reason that is just like when you're playing a guitar for a lead line, sometimes when you play keys, you're going to have to play lead lines like this one. And you want that lead line to carry, and so you want to have your reverb set up really high. Just like that. Similarly, when you're playing lead lines, you want your compressor to be turned up to right around the mid-range, maybe even higher, because what you don't want is the pad drowning out the lead line that you're playing. You want the piano lead line to actually be able to cut through. It's like that. That's pretty much it. That's keys at a glance for you guys. I hope this has been helpful. As always, feel free to ask anybody on our staff any questions you have, and we'll get back with you as soon as we can. Thank you so much.